What's up YouTube, it's your boy MX. This is how it's going down. I know I've been missing for a day, hope you didn't miss me too much. So in this video we're going to be going over some coin breakouts. Some of them have already happened, but there's still so much pumpage to come for the rest of this month. That sounded a bit dirty, but you know, I meant it in a crypto way.
David, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Having money on my mind, and having money in my pocket. Bone marrow roasted, spread it on the rosemary bread, lightly toasted, drizzle with the vinaigrette.
Before we start this video, we're going to be going over a lot of coins, so you may not be interested, you may not have enough capital, so I suggest just looking at the timestamps. But just to give you guys the overview of the coins we'll be going over, we'll be looking at Unitrade, we'll be looking at Swipe SXP, we'll be looking at Polkadot, we'll be looking at Falconswap, we'll be looking at Tezos, we'll be looking at TRX potentially, we'll be looking at Curve against BTC, we'll be looking at Ocean Protocol, we'll be looking at B0x, and that'll be the last coin. So just look at the respective timestamps, guys, and have a blast. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe if you're new as well. On the weekends I tend to do more in-depth videos because I have more time. In the weekdays I have to rush to make the video, so the quality isn't as good. So yeah, smash the like button. Let's get into the video, guys. Anyway, so looking at band, first of all, this is against USDT. This is on the daily chart. So I know with diagonal lines they can be a bit choppy because you can draw them whichever way you like, basically. So you just need to bear that in mind, but you get the premise, guys. That's why we look at a number of different indicators to sort of give us an idea of what is going on in the charts. So anyway, looking at band, we can see here we've had this diagonal line of resistance, and this is on the daily chart. Previously, we had the 10-day and 20-day EMA cross, and we were in very much a bearish sentiment anywhere from from the 19th of August, which is like a month ago. So yeah, we've seen that now. According to this diagonal line, we have had a breakout against this diagonal resistance, and now we are having a retest. So this may come down further to even retest this green box here potentially, but in terms of upwards trajectory, there is a lot of gains to be had, because our all-time high for band was at $17, which currently we're like a third of that, a third undervalued. Just to back that up as well, looking at the MACD, if you guys don't know, the MACD sort of gives you the bullish or bearish sentiment, and it is a lagging indicator, so it's not a leading indicator, so you have to bear that in mind. But ultimately with the MACD, you can see here that the bearish candles, or the bearish I don't know how you call these, these candle wicks or chart, whatever, they're the darker it is, the more bearish pressure that there is. The lighter it is, the more indicates that the bearish selling pressure is easing up. So you can see here that now the two trend lines are starting to trend upwards, and they are potentially about to cross over, as well as the fact that we are seeing less bearish volume and bearish pressure with these last two wicks. I don't know what you call them, little blobs here. They are in a lighter shade, so we could potentially start to see upwards moonage for band protocol. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. Bear in mind that this is on the daily chart, so it does have quite some significant relevance. And yeah, I hope you find this useful. I'm not saying buy it now, although if you do buy when a coin is in the red, then you do get a better ROI. But yeah, I would maybe wait for some key levels. Just keep an eye on it, guys. So that's band protocol. Okay, so looking at this coin, we have Unitrade. So if you guys do not know about Unitrade, then you need to get to know. But a brief rundown is, okay, you guys know about Uniswap and how they've released a token. Well, on Uniswap, whenever you're trading, this is what the interface looks like. Okay, with Unitrade, they are essentially planning to have a SEX, so a centralized exchange visual feature on their exchange, and essentially you'll be trading against these Uniswap liquidity pools. So it doesn't mean much if you're just trying to yield farm or whatever. But if you're a trader and you're trying to buy these alts, then essentially there'll be a decentralized exchange with like centralized features, so you can make limit orders, you can do buying and selling at a certain price. You'll be able to look at the MACDs and several different indicators and whatnot. So they are currently now in their beta, and looking here you can see like it's going to be very, very big, guys. Very, very big in my personal opinion. The market cap for this coin is very, very small at the moment. It's roughly around 12 million. I'm not going to go over all of it because this video will be too long otherwise, but like the tokenomics are quite good. A lot of these coins are locked up, so they're not going to be able, the team's not going to be able to dump on you. The coins are locked up for around a year or so. Let me see if I can find it. But this coin in the last month, guys, I was late to the party, but this coin came out for around 11 cents or something. You can see here, this is when it started trading. This recent low is 11 cents, and it pumped all the way up to $2.67. So just to be clear, guys, that's like a 21x, I believe. Let me just show you real quick. Yeah, 26x, guys, and that's just on the hype of anticipation for this project. Just the hype alone, guys. Imagine when it starts getting used. Uniswap right now is the most traded coin on Binance. Let that sink in. It has the most liquidity, it has the most trading volume, it has the most capital locked up. So imagine now when you add centralized exchange features to Uniswap, basically, and imagine when it catches on and YouTubers start talking about it. Like, so I'm not going to keep on ranting, but you can see here we have had a little breakout. Now it's starting to retest. It's retesting the 20-day EMA, and ultimately, we have had a bearish crush on the 10-day and 20-day EMA, but I personally don't believe that we will go down further because of the following reasons. Basically, the 10-day EMA is basically it's horizontal. It's not going down, and this indicates that there is a significant amount of support there, as well as the fact that we have wicked below these two EMAs, and we have seen support. So there is a lot of buying pressure to the people that are selling. So on top of that, MACD, we can see the MACD is very much in bullish territory. So with the previous coins that we've covered, some of them are in the bearish territory, so they'll be in the negative territory, like so, i.e. below this zero market. This isn't the case with Unitrade. Unitrade is in the bullish territory, but as well as that, the bearish sell pressure is also coming to an end, and we are starting to see these two trend lines converge and start heading upwards, in my personal opinion. As you can see, these two last I don't know what to call these, I'm gonna call them but basically we're seeing a lighter shade of red, and there's less selling pressure, in my opinion. And on top of that, guys, there is a roadmap for token. Oh, what am I talking about? For Unitrade, sorry, I think about so much. You can see the tokenomics. There is 22. I know I'm going back and forth. Sorry, guys. I'm all over the place. So yeah, there's around just under half of the supply is circulating at the moment. You can see here around 20 million. Also around 40%, which is the 20 million tokens. You can see, as I was saying, that there won't be a dump, in my personal opinion, because a lot of it has been locked up. 40% of liquidity and development coins have been locked up, as well as the reserve and team tokens have been locked up and vested for a year. And also the audit and marketing partnership tokens have also been locked up for a year, which is very good to see. And the fact that there is an audit, guys, a lot of these yield farming tokens, there is no audit, and personally I would stay away from yield farming because it's not profitable, especially with the fact that you have to use the native token in order to farm, where there's super volatility. If you're going to yield farm, use stable coins. It's a lot safer. Yes, the gas fees are high, but long term it's a lot safer. Anyway, moving on from that, looking at the roadmap here, we are a bit late to the party, but we're still early in comparison. You can see here, this is where there was loads of hype. The coin had gone from 11 cent all the way up from, okay, let me look at the chart real quick. So the 5th of August, and it had an all-time high at 3rd of September. So yeah, the 5th of August, it was at all-time high. The 3rd of September, you can see here, you know, when the beta was announced, just before that really, between here and here, this is when we saw an all-time high. This is before the trading even commenced, guys. We are now on the 20th of September, and we are going to see, in my opinion, a large amount of, you know, demand for this coin in the next couple of weeks or so, because we're all traders here essentially. Even if you are an investor, you're a trader essentially, because you still, you know, you're still buying and selling. You buy low, you sell high, you just hold over a longer time frame. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, with Uniswap, there is no visual aid. You know, there's no, you need indicators in order to look at a coin, you know, when you want to get into a coin, especially with the DeFi space getting more and more popular. It's inevitable. It's a necessity, and you know, it's inbound. That's all I'm going to say for this coin. So yeah, make sure you have a look at the white paper. You can have a look at, you know, different features and stuff. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to say about this token is that if you have at least 5,000 Unitrade, then you will get discounted trading fees. So, you know, with gas fees, we've seen them being extortionately high. They vary from day to day to week, and you know, if you do have a varying amount of unique tokens, then you fees. I can't remember the exact figures, guys, but you need to look at the white paper. It's like halfway through the document. So that is Unitrade. So now looking at Swipe BTC, we have a lovely setup, guys. A lovely setup. Okay, guys, so for the next coin, we'll be talking about Swipe. So this coin has fundamental reasons for a pump as well as technical reasons for a pump. So let's first go over the fundamental reasons. We can see here, I mentioned this video previously, but we can see here, sorry, I mentioned this coin in a previous video. My mind's all over the place. On the 30th of September, much like, you know, several different other coins, there is a lot going on. So they will be announcing the virtual card. They'll be also announcing financial wallet features, and then they'll also be announcing their testnet. So these are 3 different fundamental reasons why there may potentially be a pump. You can see here, you know, people have voted positively. You know, pretty much 96% or 95% upwards have, you know, been positive votes. So those are the fundamental reasons for potential pump. On top of that, guys, oh yeah, and there's a Reddit and AMA. I don't know what an AMA is, but I'm sure it's some type of announcement, or I'm not sure exactly. Let me know in the comments. But on top of that, guys, looking at the technicals, so this is just looking so sexy. So there's a descending, oh my god, there's a descending wedge, which you can see, you know, it's playing out perfectly. We have this red box indicates, oh my god, what am I talking about? This green box here indicates our support, which is also in line with one of our Fibonacci retracement levels, which is just very good to see. And you know, we have held it as support. We've wicked below it at least 4 times in the last, you know, week or so. Very bullish. We have a descending wedge, very bullish. And then, you know, we are now starting to see a breakout sideways movement. On top of that, guys, the MACD as well is indicating that the bearish sentiment is over. So, you know, we are still in bearish territory, but these 2 trend lines are starting to converge and cross over towards, you know, the positive side. On top of that, we are seeing less and less bearish selling pressure indicated by the lighter colors on the MACD. So it is a matter of time, in my personal opinion, before these 2, or before the blue line crosses over the orange line, and then, you know, we start to see green candles being put in on the MACD. Ultimately, this coin, you know, is just pending for a breakout. Previously, you know, in August, I believe it was, or July, I got into this coin around here. I made a 1.2 B0x. I didn't cash out all of it because I was being silly, but guys, this is just a beautiful setup. It's a beautiful setup, guys. It's beautiful. It's up to you whether you want to take it or not, but like there is a lot of, you know, fundamental reasons and also technical reasons for this coin to pump. Like, end of September is here. Will this coin trade sideways for the next few days? I don't really think it will. It may even, you know, it may get rejected from, you know, the 10-day EMA, go sideways, and, you know, the announcements may cause a surge in the price of the coin. But like that's enough on Swipe, guys. You guys get the rest of the picture. Okay, so looking at Polkadot as well, guys. I'm not sure if I said that we'd talk about this, but Polkadot could potentially be a good coin to buy. Looking at the 4 hourly, just real quick. So there isn't enough chart data on the excuse me, there isn't enough chart data on Polkadot, in my personal opinion, for the MACD to give us relevant information. You could argue that on the 4 hourly, yeah, maybe there is, but you know, it's a bit choppy. You know, there isn't much. You know, the price data, in my personal opinion, is weak. Like, you know, the chart bodies are very, very thin. Although it's still plausible, but I'm looking at the MACD. You know, it's somewhat in indecisive territory. It could, you know, either go very, very bearish short term, or it could start to tick bullish. But we have seen on the MACD that there has been, I think, a bearish crossover, and yeah, we are now in bearish territory. Although, having said that, you know, looking at the volume, there has been less volume traded at our current level. On top of that, we seem to be in an upwards trend within an upwards bull pennant as well. As you can see here, this trend line has been respected several times. Even now that, you know, we are seeing some selling pressure, we are respecting this upwards trend line. On top of that, this downwards trend line as well is also being respected. So could this break out positively? Who knows? It depends what Bitcoin does in the upcoming days and weeks, and also depends on, you know, the different coins, in my opinion, in the Polkadot ecosystem, and, you know, whether they drive demand. But I would just keep an eye on Polkadot, to be honest. I do own some Polkadot, but, you know, that's as a long-term hold, not as a short-term trade. But yeah, it is looking interesting. We are respecting, you know, somewhat this MACD, this Fibonacci retracement. We are slightly underneath it, so it's a bit, I don't know, it's looking a bit risky. I would probably wait for, you know, some bullish confirmation before you did want to enter this coin. However, looking at the VPVR, there isn't like a clear indicator, in my personal opinion, of, you know, where we're likely to sort of trade. If we do break this, then there wouldn't be much resistance at all, and we could go all the way down to, you know, the 2.92 cent mark. That's in the most bearish scenario. However, I don't believe that will happen. In the most bullish scenario as well, there's not much. Well, the second next level of, you know, volume would be just around the $5.5 mark. If we were to break that, where we do see some resistance and support, as indicated here, you know, previously, you know, you can see here resistance, some support, and then support. If we were to break this sort of zone, then we could ultimately, in the next couple of weeks or so, start to retest these upper resistance levels of around the $6.5 mark, as previously we have been rejected by at least 3 times before ultimately coming down. But yeah, it looks to be like we are in a ascending, in a bull pennant. A lot of technical terms. So looking at Uni, I did mention this on Twitter that I have currently sold all of my Uni, and I'll go into why. So with Uni, first of all, I got this coin for free. I did sell this incrementally at different price targets. Regrettably, I should have just hodled and I could have sold everything here. I would have had like 2 grand. I made 1.7 from it, so I'm not upset, but I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Upset. I'm not upset, but I could have made more. But ultimately, I was looking at this level here, this green box, as our level of support, and we did sort of break below it. So that wasn't a good indication for me. I didn't know whether this was a trend line at the time. I only drew this today. I didn't know whether we were going to go down to here to test here, or whether we'd go down to like this Fibonacci retracement level here. So I did sell all of my uni, and I have diversified since then into Bitcoin, Swipe, and all these other coins I'm telling you about. Not all of them, but most of them. What am I trying to say? Basically, like Polkadot, we seem to be in a bull pennant. As you can see here, we have had downwards resistance and then also some upwards support as well, which now we seem to be respecting, and we are somewhat in an upwards trend. However, it's very, very early to say this coin could do anything. It's only been around for literally a couple days, 2 days, 3 days, whatever it is. But having said that, it does seem to be in an upward trend at the moment. But it's very, very early to say. Anything can happen with this coin, to be honest. However, having said that, this coin, it hasn't even seen its full utilization yet. I know a lot of people don't think this coin has value, but when they do add governance to this coin, and that will, in my opinion, drive demand for the Polkadot coin. Because imagine if you add, like, there's governance, and then you can say, okay, as Polkadot holders, we can get passive income, we can get staking fees, whatever percentage it is, for holding this token. I think that would definitely be a popular aspect and option of this coin. Looking at the hourly on the MACD, so on the hourly it looks a bit better in terms of the setup. Like I said, we are respecting this trend line, and on the MACD you can see here that the bearish pressure is coming to an end, and that is getting very, very minimal, as shown by this upwards trending line, as well as the lighter colors shown on the MACD. These 2 trend lines are looking like they're about to cross over. It looks like the blue line is going to cross over the orange line, in which case that would be very, very good for the price. But I don't know whether this would go up to then test this $6.8 mark here, which happens to be against the diagonal downwards resistance, and I don't know whether we'd get rejected from there or whether we'd break through from there. So that's why I did sell. So when I do see a confirmation candle, I'll look for several different factors. I'll look for us to be above the $6 mark. Basically, I'll look for these 2 trend lines to cross over again. So that could be anywhere in the next couple of days or so before that starts to happen. And I'll look for the MACD to start ticking bullish again, as it once was in the last couple of days. Ultimately, a lot of people got this coin for free, so if you have sold, I don't blame you. Like, it's free money. But in terms of the future of this coin, like, we're just getting started. There's so much to be bullish about. Okay, so that's that coin. Looking at Falconswap, I don't know much about the fundamental reasons. Also, I don't know much about. Looking at Falconswap, this is purely a technical play. Looking at Falconswap, this is purely a speculative play, guys. We seem to be in an upwards trend. However, the only reason I bought this is because of the several different partnerships that I saw them announce on their Twitter. So they have announced a partnership with TrustSwap, which is an emerging recurring payments crypto platform, whatever, sort of like PayPal for crypto. That's how I see them. But in terms of the fundamental reasons, this coin is very risky. Okay, the market cap is around 10 million. If it pays off, it could do phenomenally well. If it doesn't, then you could lose a lot of money. I've only put 1 ETH in here, so I'm willing to lose that amount. But I've only put 1 ETH in this coin, so I'm willing to lose it, even though I don't think I will. But the upside is phenomenal, especially if this catches on. I don't know much about the fundamentals of this coin and how it differs, but I believe it may be linked with layer 2. I do need to do some research, guys. I don't want to be ignorant and start saying stuff that I don't know. If you do know, please let me know in the comments. I would love to learn a bit more about this coin. But this coin is very much in the early stages, so I just would keep that on your guys' radar. Ultimately, it is very volatile, and if you guys can't handle the volatility, I would suggest maybe going to some of the other coins that do have better fundamentals and also more volume and just security behind it. Although we are in crypto, that term is relative. Next on our list of coins, we do have Tezos, and this is against the USD pair. So I am bullish on Tezos for a number of different reasons, none of them fundamental. I don't know much about the project. I'm just looking at this in terms of it, the chart. The chart has drawn me to it, and I'm gonna trade it. So it seems to be that we are potentially in a descending wedge. However, who knows? I don't know. We probably are in a descending wedge. However, I'm not the best trader. I do more so investing, so I could be wrong there. But in terms of what we said about band, there was a long-term diagonal downwards resistance which took a while to get broken. However, band did break that, and like I've just drawn this diagonal downwards resistance line against the wicks and nothing more, not through the candle bodies. So I do believe this is like a conservative way of drawing the line. On top of that, we are seeing support along this this downwards trend. So I could have drawn this like here, like I don't know. However, but I tried to stick to like the wicks, and yeah, this is getting tighter and tighter, and I do believe it is pending a breakout. I could be wrong, guys, but a couple different people are talking about Tezos USD, Tezos BTC. So especially when you look at like the weekly chart, it gives you a better perspective for how the coin tends to perform, especially on the Bitcoin pairing, which I can get into, and I might get into a bit later on. But we can see here, on the MACD as well, the bearish pressure is pretty much concaved. There's literally no bearish pressure according to the MACD. It's been flickering between green and red, indicating that the bulls are losing steam, as well as the fact that these two trend lines have started to sort of converge, and they are one now. Sort of like I don't know, they're just one line. So ultimately, in my opinion, this is pending a breakout, on top of the fact that there isn't much trading volume according to the VPVR at this current level. Most of the trading volume has been at the 2.5 as well as the $3 mark. So there's just more room for the upside. Looking historically at Tezos, you can see that we are basically somewhat at an all-time, not an all-time low, but a historical support line, or historical support level, sorry. If I just draw this line here, excuse me, you can see here on several different occasions we have either held this line of support or somewhat as resistance, or especially in the last, or especially this year from April 2020. You can see here we wicked down below to the 2.2 in May, and then in June as well we wicked there several different times. We did try to wick down there in July, but we didn't come close. And then now we have sort of in the last couple weeks or so, days and weeks, we have wicked there at least twice, in my opinion. I'd only count this as 2 wicks because there's no point counting like these other small ones. But yeah, you can see now, in my opinion, just look at the MACD, guys. Look at the MACD. Bullish? I think so. looking historically at Tezos, I definitely think we're gonna see an upcoming pop in the price of Tezos. Like this price level has been respected for the last 5 months. Like, why would it break now? I mean, the only time it broke was because of the March crash. Ever since then, this price level has been held either as support or as resistance. Like back here, this was, you know, quite a big resistance level for us. Back in April as well, it was also resistance, and then we have flipped it as support. So it is very, very bullish in my personal opinion, and it would be a good time to buy Tezos. However, not financial advice, guys. Looking at the weekly real quick. Okay, yeah, that just confirms it in my opinion. On the weekly, the MACD is still very much, or not very much, but it's still in a bullish territory in terms of the trend lines. The bearish candles are, you know, they do indicate the recent sell-off that we have had. However, I do believe, you know, this will be like the most volume that we'll see in terms of the bearish pressure for Tezos, and we will start to, you know, start seeing lighter colors in terms of the bearish pressure. We'll start to see pink, and these trend lines I believe will stay in the bullish territory. Now, once again, looking at the different levels of support and resistance, we can see up here, this has been historically you know, somewhat resistance for us, as well as up here as well. However, it will be, you know, some time before we do start to retest these levels, so I wouldn't worry about these levels too much. Just concern ourselves with, you know, this current level of the 2.2. But yeah, I do believe that we are in a descending wedge, however you want to draw it. On the weekly, you know, arguably you could go back to like here to say that it's the descending wedge has started from here and that the breakout is about to happen. So yeah, that would be that. So in terms of a price target for Tezos, sorry guys, in terms of a price target for Tezos, I would, just to be conservative, you know, let's say the breakout is around here and that the wedge has started from here. That would mean, you know, like so, just to show you guys that I'm not just making this number or making up this line, that would give us a breakout of roughly around 50% in the next couple weeks or so, if this was to play out how I expect it to play out. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be a long video, guys. We're nearly done, but actually no, we're not nearly done at all. We're not nearly done. We still have no, we are nearly done. We still have Curve, we still have Ocean, we still have B0x to go over, and then we're done. So yeah, looking at Curve BTC, I don't own a bag of this, by the way. I just saw this on Twitter and I thought I'd bring it to your guys' attention. But yeah, looking at Curve, it does look like a very, very good setup. You can see here, however you want to say it, this definitely is a downwards diagonal resistance line that we are respecting. This as well is a downwards diagonal support line that we are respecting as well, and we have bounced off it at least 3 times in my opinion. You could say that it's a W, however I don't necessarily like, I don't know, I guess a W is an inverse head and shoulders, because you can see clearly, sorry guys, 1 second, you can see clearly, you know, bounce, 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 bounce. So whether we go down further to, you know, keep on testing these levels, or we start to break out now and, you know, go upwards like so, who knows. But it could play out like that, it could play out like going down a bit lower and then breaking out. I don't want to say exactly when, but I just want to, you know, keep this on your guys' radar and, you know, just have you aware. Looking at the MACD, there isn't much data at all, but you can see here these two trend lines are converging now, starting to tick bullish. We are seeing a teeny weeny bit of green on the MACD. Sorry. Looking at the 4 hourly on the MACD, it's not the most convincing, you know, there isn't much with like volume and like bold bars. I don't know what these are called. Let me know what these are called, guys. If not, I'll just Google search it. But yeah, you can see on the MACD, still in the bearish territory on the 4 hourly, but it's starting to go bullish now. Ultimately, we have tested this 1,000. So on the Satoshi, so on the Bitcoin pairing chart, we have tested the 1,124 Satoshi mark several different times, and I do believe it has bottomed out in terms of Satoshi value. However, I could be very, very wrong, but looking at the chart, it looks like it's a perfect setup, which will take, you know, some days, months. Oh, no, not months. It will take some days, if not a week or so, to play out and let me know if I'm right or not. So yeah, if you're bullish on any of these coins that I'm covering, make sure you smash the like button. And I know this video is super long, but it's necessary, guys. It's very, very necessary. Like, I don't know what coins you guys are currently holding, but yeah. Similarly with Ocean Protocol, this is against the Bitcoin pairing. I don't know how, you know, you'd want to, like, you know, draw this chart. You could just say this is the wedge line. You could say it's like where I previously drew it. Similar with the diagonal resistance line, you could say that, you know, this is how it should be drawn, or you could say it was previously how I drew it, and that we are in the breakout now. But in terms of the MACD on the 4 hourly, it is starting to tick bullish now, and according to how it is currently drawn, the breakout is sort of occurring. We did see a retest on the MACD. So yeah, we did see a retest of this level, which would indicate that, you know, we are going to see some more upwards movement. However, it depends on Bitcoin, it depends on, you know, the rest of the markets. I know I keep on repeating myself, but it is very much true. But looking at, you know, this current level here, there is a lot of confluence here, and you know, you can see, excuse me guys, you can see, you know, previously we have held it as support several times, you know, then resistance, and then held it as support for, you know, several weeks before ultimately coming back down. But looking at the 10-day and 20-day EMA, they have crossed over, indicating bullish sentiment, as well as, you know, the MACD crossing over into the bullish territory, and some green bars being put in, as well as the blue and red line, as well as the blue and orange lines also converging and, you know, ticking bullish. But it's still very much early days. Anything can happen. Macro wise, we are still putting in lower lows and lower highs, so this breakout is still very much premature, as it can be drawn anyway, like this, or, you know, you guys get what I'm saying. Just keep that on your radars. This, by the way, is on the Bitcoin pairing, not the USD, so have that on there. And then lastly, guys, we have B0x. So if you guys don't know about B0x, basically I'm not going to go over all of it, but they're like linked with Fulcrum, and Fulcrum, I went over there, I talked about them on my, I think my last video, the video before that. But basically, you can make a killing on your passive. You can make a large, you can make a good APY on your stablecoins. So for, I think my DAI, I'm making around 51% APY, and on Tether there, you can, I think it fluctuates daily, but I think at the moment it's around 75% APY. I can show you real quick. So yeah, one thing you do need to bear in mind, guys, is that with this app, it is on the Ethereum network, so gas fees are going to be killer. So if you're going to do this, you have to keep it in there for, you know, several months or several weeks, depending on how much capital you've deployed. Obviously, the more you put in, the quicker you'll make back the gas fees that you've had to pay. So I told myself I wouldn't be mining or, you know, yield farming on Ethereum, and like a fool, I've gone back. So yeah, I have to like keep it in there, otherwise I've lost money, which I don't want to do. But yeah, you can see these nice APYs. So 51% for DAI, 47% for USDC, 7.2% for ETH, which is a lot better than BlockFi, and what's that other couple? What's that called? BlockFi and Crypto.com. It's a lot better. However, you could find better APYs somewhere else. So let me know if you do have better APYs for Ethereum. I will jump over there in a flash. But yeah, USDT 75% APY, Link 6% APY. So I haven't seen any good places to earn interest on your Link other than this website here. However, you could also go over to UNI Finance, where they do have some vaults and some good yields for your crypto, but I'm not sure if the pools are currently open or not. You have to keep that in mind. So yeah, looking at this last coin, and I'll let you guys go. We have B0x, so another descending wedge, which is lovely to see. This is again looking at the 4 hourly, looking at the trend lines and most of the price action. We are in bearish territory according to the MACD. However, it does seem that we are starting to tick bullish. Looking at the current VPVR support levels, we are seeing that most of the trading volume has occurred around the 28-cent mark towards the 29-cent mark. Very quickly, this has been held as support. Jesus Christ, man. This has been held as support for at least the last week or so. No, not week, at least the last 4 days or so. So yeah, I mean, it could sort of. So the fact that this line has been held as support is good, but it doesn't mean that we won't go down to retest this downwards diagonal trend line or support line, sorry. But ultimately, it's quite good for the price. You could disagree with how I've drawn the diagonal downwards resistance line. You could say that I've drawn it too acutely and that I should have drawn it from these books. However, the reason I do this is because this is where most, in my opinion, this is where most of the resistance occurred at this level here, the 1.3, as well as being rejected here at the 0.76, and then also here at the 0.67, and then now here. So this has the most touches, in my opinion, against the trend line. So that is why I've drawn it here. So if we were to break out, then I do believe it would be a quite easy move up to here or so, because according to the VPVR, we are not seeing much resistance and trading volume in this level here. So that would indicate, in my personal opinion, a price move anywhere of 50% in the upcoming days or so, if you guys were to get in on this coin. Ultimately though, long term, what is the move going to look like? I can't say exactly, but we've seen with Band Protocol, like that coin just pumped 15% in like 1 day when it broke out of this, or when it broke out of its descending wedge. So that's been the video, guys. It's been a lot of alts, it's been a lot of TA. I hope you guys have liked my TA. People have been criticizing my TA, not knowing, or I don't know if they know or not, but I've only been doing this stuff for like a couple months. So yeah, my TA is not going to be the best, like I'm a grape right now. Once I've been stepped on and gone through the refinery process, I'll either become fine wine or champagne. So you have to trust the process. Like I'm learning as I'm going along, guys. It's only been a couple months. Don't be too harsh on me. Anyway, that's been the video. I hope you found value in it. If you have, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you around my crypto crew. Bars. Alright guys, bye.